is actually our last problem set practice in Unit 9 stabilization policies. So we are almost finished with this entire course. There's only one more unit past this, and it's a lot of international trade and review, but we're going to wrap this unit up here with this FRQ Prep. A country's economy is in equilibrium, short run, with an output level less than the full employment. So that means we are in a recession, right? It's always useful when you get a question, identify are they in a recession, an expansion, or at the long run equilibrium. Assume an upward sloping aggregate supply curve. Oh, thanks for that. Using a correctly labeled ADAS, show the following: full employment, real output. Okay, so we can do that. Let's go ahead and put that one down. Go ahead and take care of that. So we have Y for output and PL, and we need an LRAS, and that's going to tell us the full employment level. We also need an aggregate demand and an aggregate supply, short run aggregate supply. Now, why did I put this intercept here? Well, that's because this current level of YE, and it tells us use YE, is below full employment. Okay, we're given that in the problem. And then it says PLE for the prices. Assume the country's government increases domestic military spending. On the graph from Part A, show how the increased military expenditures affect the following in the short run: aggregate demand, and then real output and price level. So we know that if there's more of military spending, then G is going up. So therefore we would say AD goes up. So we should show it, and maybe we'll say that it actually closed the gap, right? That it closed that recessionary gap. So it shifted the curve to the right, and we went to Y2, so the output level increased. I don't know if you can see that arrow very well, and PL went up as well. Excuse me. So we showed the increase on both of these two, Y2 and PL2. Now it says Part C, using a correctly labeled graph of the short-run Phillips curve, show the effect of the increased spending in the short run, labeling initial as A, new as B. Okay. So we have unemployment percent and price level percent and short-run Phillips curve, and we'll go ahead and we'll put a long run on here, even though they didn't tell us to. The initial is going to be down here. So we're in a recession, and we closed that gap. So now we're at the long run. Okay, so now Part D. Assume the military spending is financed through borrowing. What will happen to the real interest rate? So you can start to see that these questions, this is very similar to the last problem in FRQ Prep 3. They all kind of similarly operate. So if there's an increased borrowing, right, and it actually says explain here. So if government borrowing, we just say borrowing more, we would say therefore, and you could choose here, you could say either the supply of loanable funds decreases, or you could say the demand for loanable funds increases. And then what's going to happen to the real interest rate? Well, the interest rate will go up. In either one of these cases, right? If the supply of something goes down or the demand for it goes up, the price of it will go up, and so the real interest rate rises. Now, Part E, assume the economy makes only two goods, military and civilian. Using a correctly labeled PPC, show the effect of the increase in military spending from B, labeling the initial as C and the new point as D. Oh, man, okay. So we have civilian goods, and we have military goods, and we're here. So now the tricky part to this is going to be we actually started in a recession. So we'll say we will start as Part C. Okay. I'm thinking through how to do this. So in order to go from Part C, they're going to increase military spending. So we're going to spend more on the military than we used to. So it has to be somewhere to the left of where that one is on the axis, so towards more up the military side. I'm sorry, I think I did that the wrong way here. It's actually anything more than that point would increase the amount of military spending. So we need our new point to appear on the line, somewhere up here on the line. and it has to be an increase in military spending. So we could say they did all the way up to here. We could actually have said they produce maybe all the way up to here. Anything where it's actually more military spending would be fine. And because we in these problems where we went from here to full employment and from A to B to full employment, we should put point D on the curve here because that indicates full employment as well. Okay, so hopefully this helps you with FRQ Prep number 4, the very last FRQ in Unit 9. I'll see you next time.